Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Inside Politics here on Time Television. I'm your host Ali Najmi, and we have another very special guest on this week's show. We have Maf Misbah Uddin, the treasurer of DC 37, the largest labor union in New York City. Maf, welcome aboard.
Yeah, good evening to you all, and thank you very much for inviting me. And I'm honored that I'm here. We'll be discussing a lot of important issues. Thank you.
Yes. So, Maf, I just introduced you as a labor leader. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the labor movement, how you rose to the level of being treasurer of DC 37, which I believe is the largest union in New York City, isn't it?
Largest municipal union in the country.
In the country.
And in the city, of course. So what happened in 1988 when I joined the city of New York as an actuary.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I came here on a graduate teaching assistantship in Indiana, Ball State University. When there graduated, and 2 years later in '86, then I applied to get a job in the state, and I got the job there. But then I saw in New York Times that New York City is looking for an actuary. So I applied. As you know, I came here as a student visa, but then I told them that if you sponsor me to the immigration, I'll come and join to the city, and city agreed, and that way I came to the city. But when I came to the city, started working, I started May 16, 1988. June 8, there was a union meeting. One of my colleagues said that, do you like to go to a union meeting? I get, what is it? We have a union?
Right.
They said, yeah, sure, even if you are actually a professional job, but still we have a union. So I went to the union. So I started liking it because back home I was very involved in my university when I was in college. So that way I went there. And in the beginning they will not even understand when I ask a questions or something. So it became a problem. But then I thought that everything we need to take as a challenge. And I took it as a challenge. And in 1992, I got first elected as the grievance ref. What do you call that in this country? They call union ref. In our local, we call executive board member of one section of the city, which is called NYSERS, New York City Employees Retirement System. From there, in 1997, I became the delegate for all 5 boroughs to the District Council 37. Then in 2000, I ran an election against the incumbent American-Italian president. So I beat him over 2-1 margin.
For the local? For
the local election. So in 2000, I became the president of the local. And then we are part of District Council 37, which consists of 52 unions, municipal unions.
Now unions advocate for people's employment rights. They advocate for better benefits. But they're also very involved in New York City politics.
Yes.
They make endorsements. They help elected officials become elected. And people covet your endorsement. DC 37's endorsement, your local's endorsement.
Yes.
How has being in the union made you more politically involved?
So as I mentioned that in 2004, I ran for the treasurer of District Council 37 for all 52 unions. And I was lucky enough that I defeated one of my Jewish brother who used to be the treasurer of the council by over 7,000 votes. So now that I became the second in command in the entire union, so any political leader who wants to run for an election, they will always come to the District Council 37 and will ask for endorsement.
Right.
So in the process, there are 16 member endorsement committee of District Council 37, and I am one of those 16. At the same time, I am the top second person in the union management. So that way, whenever a politician comes, a special relation bonding happens between the elected officials or the candidate and my own position itself, the treasurer and president of a union. So that I maintain later, because whenever an issue comes that is affecting the union and also sometimes to the better extent the community, we go to the politician because they can bring two-way a result. Either they call different establishment and they can get things done, or in Albany or in City Council they can bring a bill or a section by which they can propose those.
So what are the biggest issues for your union right now?
Our main, in fact, though, always our bargaining contract by which we get the salary.
Right,
we
for
get the
city
working
workers, 'cause you
condition for
represent city
City
workers.
workers. Since the new mayor came in 2013, de Blasio, we settled our citywide contract.
Right.
But in CUNY City University, we have over 10,000 members. That contract we could not settle, even it is the 7th year going without a contract.
Well, I heard the governor is
Unfortunately-
trying to cut
yes,
CUNY
that is the
funding
problem.
now.
The governor is dead against giving a decent, fair contract to the union members, only because the union has not endorsed him
Right.
in his re-election.
Now, you know,
So
the-
that might be the one of the reasons they don't want to give it.
Yeah, well, that's how politics works, unfortunately, sometimes.
Sure.
So unions are very important. I mean, if it wasn't for labor unions in this country, we wouldn't have the minimum wage. We wouldn't have an 8-hour workday, overtime,
yes.
all the benefits that people have. In our community, we have a lot of people who are maybe not in unions. They're unorganized or they're in industries. How does somebody join a union? How does somebody get a union job?
Because District Council 37 is a municipal union, we only represent public sector
Right.
unions. So whoever get a job in the city, in this case, in my case, and in the state, not everywhere in the state, only part certain area of the state, they become automatic union members. At the same time, we in the District Council 37 also trying to organize the unorganized. Now the question, these are unorganized people, has to be someone who is also working within the city or within the state different governmental branches. So we then go and organize them. These are semi-government. They are not really out of civil service.
Right.
If they come out of civil service, they become automatic our members, but they are not civil servants. Sometimes they are working under a project or a federal aid came or grant came, they are working on that. So we are trying to also organize them. Apart from that, our goal is to help wherever there is unorganized working people, labor people, we want to help those related unions to
Right.
organize
So
them.
I know the labor union world is very interconnected.
Exactly.
People help each other in different industries and trades, even if you're not a city worker. If you are, you're working with other unions. And, you know, how for many years, I think people maybe didn't see our community in the leadership of labor unions. And you have made history. I think you were the highest ranking South Asian American in nationally, and Muslim American, and obviously you're Bangladeshi, so of course Bangladeshi American as well. What do you think it's going to take for our community members in other unions, in other locals, to also rise up in leadership?
No, I think last 20 years I am an elected union from the bottom. I started, as I mentioned to you, executive member, president to the treasurer. Now, yet I am still the only, of course, second Bangladeshi we have now in traffic enforcement agent.
Right.
So I will be the first Bangladeshi, and then I am the first Bangladeshi, whether you call Asian, Muslim, whatever you call it, it is the first. So that is why my effort is to educate other South Asian, especially Bangladeshi people, to get involved within their union rank and file. Like we created Alliance of South Asian American
Right.
Labor, for which you are the political
Correct.
director
Yes,
for
absolutely.
long
Proudly,
time.
yes.
For a long time. So we brought all union members across this city, and in fact across the state and in the country, telling them, come with us in a SAL format. We will help you rise within your union movement. Union movement, the more you get involved, the more you will be recognized by the current administrator or current elected officials within the union. Once they see you are serious, you are volunteering, you are giving your time, energy, and effort for the cause of labor movement, they will pick you up. Now, can you become president of your union? Certainly you can, but you have to start from the bottom.
Right.
You have to become a delegate, you have to become a shop steward, you have to become a representative. Only then, slowly but surely, you can rise to the rank.
You know, I really do want to talk more about ASAL, and we'll get there in a second. But you know, you're a licensed actuary. An actuary
Yes.
is a very big skill.
Yes.
You could easily be spending all your time working for an insurance company, making even more money than
Exactly.
anybody could imagine. I know these actuaries do very well, but you've chosen public service by working for the city, and you've chosen to also spend a lot of your time organizing other actuaries and other workers in the city. What drives you to do that organizing?
No, the issue is very simple. I think we all in our life has a purpose. My goal is not only me to get the benefited by this system that we are in this country. Anyone who works hard can get their dream fulfilled. I think by me becoming the actuary of the city of New York, and later in 2000 became the president of a union, and I don't need to work in the city since 2000. I am now
Full-time
only
union,
representing
right.
and negotiating for my union members, but my job with the city is still there. My
Right.
pension, my benefit, everything is there. So what I'm saying that it is very rewarding when you can negotiate a contract that affects 120,000 members, that affects 400,000 family members across the city. And they get the health insurance, they get the pension, they get the prescription drugs, they get the eyeglasses, they get the educational benefit.
Right.
And all of them, every household in the city related to the
Right.
District Council 37 knows me by name.
Right.
I think I'm enjoying that part. So my second part is that with that I want to bring the community. So in order to do the community, what we have created, Alliance of South Asian American Labor, 8 years ago in 2008, and we have now 5 chapters in 5 boroughs. Every month we try to meet with each other
Right.
and see what are the problems community are facing.
Sure. Now, I know with the city, you just talked about all those benefits. People think of a city job as a great job, and I think it still is actually
Yes.
a great job to have, because you get a salary, you get a pension,
Sure.
health insurance, but people don't realize those things, they taking it for granted, but you've actually fought to have those things delivered.
Exactly.
How's the pension doing? How's the city doing?
Okay. Now, New York City pension is second largest pension fund in the country.
Right.
It is 100% funded. In other words, some pension fund has lack of money. They are 80, 70, or even less
Right.
percentage funded. So now our pension fund is doing very well until this year. We projected that it will bring 7% on an average in the investment income.
Okay.
This year it brought 3.4%
Wow.
return. So that way it will cost city and New York City taxpayer additional $600 million to be contributed towards the pension. Now, this 600 million, but in 2000 it used to be 789 million for dollar, but for year. That became zero in 2000,
Okay.
October of 2000, and since then it is gradually increasing. Now it is, as I mentioned, $600 million. So what we are saying that by paying $600 million to this very 325,000 people, and there are over 300,000 New York City residents are getting the pension out of New York City Pension Fund. So I think that is the reason why this pension fund is the engine, monetary engine that is running this city, because they get the pension, they spend that money.
Right.
So
A lot of
that-
people depend on it.
A lot of people depend.
So do you feel good about the pension?
I think our pension is in very strong hand. It is return is very good, and there is no way. Governor, I think, want to mean, and he's asking for a constitutional convention.
Right.
You may have some idea. Most people don't understand it. Constitutional convention, he's looking only to cut the pension,
Wow.
and we are opposing it.
Right, and we're going to get to that in
Yes.
just a second, Maf. We got to take a break. Everybody, don't go anywhere. This is Inside Politics. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Politics. I'm Ali Najmi. We're here with our guest, Maf Misbah Uddin, the treasurer of DC 37, the largest municipal workers union in New York City and I believe the country, and a labor leader. So just before the break, Maf, you were describing the state of the pension fund and how strong it still is.
It is very strong.
If you are somebody watching this show right now and you want to work for the city and you don't work for the city right now, what should you do?
I encourage all South Asian, especially every Bangladeshi, husband, wife, spouse, children, grandchildren, whatever it is, everybody should try to get a city job. The reason being is very simple. New York State, you work 40 hours or 37 and a half hours. In New York City, you work 40 hours or 37 and a half hours. So this is first part. Second part is that every year you get 1 month vacation, full paid, and you go home and whatever you want to do. Third, that it is a job that brings you yearly, monthly, weekly salary. It will give you the pension. It will give you the health insurance, prescription drugs, anything that an individual, a family needs.
But how do they get it?
It provides it. So now, the question how to get the job. So the main way or important way to get the job, you always stay in touch with news media, which is in this case Chief Leader. It comes every Tuesday, and it has all the description on the right side, first page, regarding city job.
Which media is that?
It's called Chief Leader.
The Chief Leader.
Leader. It's a weekly newspaper every Tuesday comes. And on the last to the end page, it has all the job itself, the name and title. This is first part. Then anyone, today everybody uses computer. Website, you go to dcas.gov and you go and you see the job. Now, the reason why you need these two media to know what job is opening, because New York City, it is a city government. So all the job mainly comes through the civil service exam. So you take an exam in 2016 March.
Okay.
In June, July, there will be an exam. You took that exam in November, December, January, result will come.
Right.
If you get a score more than 70, up until 100, and sometimes you can get 105 because of the other credit given. So as long as you pass, your name will be on the list. From that list, they will call you for next 4 years.
Okay.
So it is valid for 4 years. So now, of course, first come, first serve, we always say that. In this country, it is also, they are very fair. No way you can give money or push something to get the job, because if you are number 10 and number 1 is waiting, number 1 supposed to get the job first. So that is, you always try to score high. So now, the civil service rule says that they need to interview 3 people, 1, 2, 3, and they must hire 1.
Okay.
So then the next, when they go to 4, 5, 6, they will hire 1. But by that time, you can also, because 2 and 3 were not hired, 2 and 3 can go back to the list.
I see.
So that way it continues for next 4 years, and you get the job.
Now, through the Alliance of South Asian American Labor, ASAL, your organization, which I'm also a longtime member and political director of, we have done, and you have led, some job seminars and workshops trying to get our community jobs, not only in the city, but in the unions. Tell us a little bit more about ASAL. What is your vision, and what's the latest with ASAL?
Sure. The Alliance of South Asian American Labor, as we mentioned before, we started in 1988, and I think, sorry,
2000.
Sorry, 2008. Sorry, 2008. I started.
Right, you started in 1988.
Yes, in 2008, by bringing all those who are in the labor movement in different union membership, and also those who lives in the community. So we brought all of them together and we created it. So now, since then, as mentioned, we have 5 chapters in 5 boroughs, and we now have a chapter in New Jersey, which is based in Atlantic City. So our goal is to bring all these unionized workers and the community labor leaders, bring them together if they are really serious to help the community. So we now need to know the issues that we are facing in the community. Once we bring those issues in the forefront and then give it to the respective elected officials, city council member, assembly, state senate, and of course Congress, wherever they belong. We don't know where those problems belong, but if we know a problem belongs to the city council, we will then give that issue to the city council.
Now, I think one example of a problem that ASAL has helped to solve recently is our seniors. Yes. And developing a senior program. Can you tell me more about the Jamaica senior program?
We have been talking about the senior program for a long time. In 2013 city council election, especially in the City Council District 24, which is in Jamaica hillside areas.
Which has a huge Bangladeshi population.
Huge Bangladeshi population. So there we have Rory Lansman, the guy who ran there.
Right.
We brought him at our screening committee. You remember that?
Right.
And that is where we asked him
what
he is going to do. And I think what the main important part here is that South Asian is not yet elected in any position.
Correct.
So what we are saying that the person who is getting elected or the person who is most possible to be elected, we are talking with them with our issues.
Right.
So now their agenda will have part of our issues there. So what happens when he got elected for the first time, he allocated $110,000 for senior program, and which we later moved to at Jamaica Muslim Center, and they are managing it well so far. I think our people, especially our senior, are enjoying because it provides halal food,
Right.
it provides the language, it provides the culture.
Now, I remember
and
being in the
everything.
ASOL endorsement and that endorsement process with Councilman Lansman, who's a good friend to this community.
Yes.
We made sure that senior services and the senior center were at the forefront of our endorsement, and he made
Exactly.
a promise, and he gave an unbelievable amount of money that
Sure.
I've never seen any council member give that much money
For
to
one particular
to
cause.
one particular cause, no matter what it is.
Exactly.
A six-figure amount, $100,000
Sure,
to develop a senior center, and now this is the first Bengali language halal food serving senior program in the city of New York.
This is the
thanks
first
to
one.
ASOL.
And you and I also worked with the controller to
Right.
expand it throughout the city.
Right.
I think last year the news conference that we did with
Right.
the controller and the press release that it
Right.
followed. I think our goal is, especially the controller Scott is looking that anywhere there is a senior program by the city of New York, there should be some kind of accommodation for
Correct.
South Asian
Right.
community.
The controller was on this show, and we
Yes.
talked about it then, and then he's been working closely with you and ASOL to make sure that there's language access at all of these
Definitely.
senior centers that are getting city funding, and we still have a long way to go on that issue. But
Definitely, yeah. But we are working on it.
we're working on
That
it.
is very important.
Now, ASOL makes endorsements. Do you do organizing? You help people get involved in local politics. You help elected officials understand the issues. What are the top 3 issues facing the South Asian community in New York City right now?
The idea is that we have many issues. The
Right.
top 3 will be always to recognize us. If you, Najmi, you remember that you born here, you raised here, you went to school here, everything you did, and even last year we are lucky enough to endorse you
Yes,
to run for
thank
city
you.
council. I think that was a good election, good campaign we did. We may not win,
Right.
but future is very bright for us, for ASAL, for our community.
Right.
So what happened, the tough issue for me always, when I came or I started working in the city in 1988, they used to call us Asian. Today, because of ASAL movement, they call us South Asian. I think this should continue. They should always call us South Asian, because Asian, we are not look like Oriental, nor our culture is look like them. We kind of, I call us
Right.
brown people. Our culture, our attitude, our motion, our everything is different than all others. So what we are saying that if the African American black people can get their recognition, if the Latinos can get their recognition, if the Chinese get their recognition, so do the South Asians should get our own recognition. I think you see the impact on that. 2 years ago we had a resolution that we want judges from South Asian.
Right.
It is in a ASAL resolution.
Right.
We passed in our convention. Soon after that, we found that de Blasio appointed.
Right, Justice Rajaswari.
Yeah, sure, as the
Right.
civil court judge, and then now we have one.
Ushir Pandit just got
Yeah,
elected in
Usha
Queens
Pandit
County thanks to the
as our-
support of the Queens Democratic
So
Party.
we already have 2 South Asian judges
Right.
within the city of New York. I think we are
Right.
doing good.
We're doing great.
And also through ASAL, we requested to appoint few people in the community board. They
Right.
are there. Few people in the hospital board. We are there. Even I myself serving on Queens Hospital board now because of the elected officials, Rory Lansman, city council member, and the borough president, Melinda Karj, has appointed me there.
Ah.
So our face is
Right.
on every venue of this country, including we are thinking that we should be on the table as one of the participants,
Right.
not behind the table. That is
Well,
our goal.
You know, you're either on the table or you're on the menu.
Yeah, or in the middle. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Now, how important is it to work together as a South Asian community, Bangladeshis with Pakistanis, with Indians, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians together? How important is that politically in New York City?
Look. The without that understanding of coming together, even if we cry as South Asian next 100 years, nothing will happen. We have to understand that in this country, nothing happens when you are divided. It only will happen when you are coming together. I never heard that the Caucasians say that I am this country, he is from that country, I'm not going to support him. All Caucasians, white, are together, in a sense. All African Americans should be together, and they are. All Latinos, they don't yet come to that level, but they will be together. But in our community, South Asian community, those who we are brown people, whether we are Hindu, Muslim, Buddha, Christian, or we are from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Afghanistan, it does not matter. Until or unless we come together, we will never win. We will have candidates like you, and even more young generation will be
Right.
our candidate in the 2017 election and 2020 election. But the only way we can win when we come together. Now, how you bring these people together? Who knows? British rulers for 200 years by dividing us.
Right.
That division is still continues.
Right.
So what we do through ASAL, and if there is any other organization, we are educating our people. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what country you are. The other day we had our ASAL meeting at Staten Island chapter. And I told them, so raise hand who are from different countries. So first Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, we found at least 4 countries people are there. Then I told them who are Muslims. So few people raised hand with me. Then I asked them who are Hindus. 7 people raised their hand. Then I asked them who are Christian. 2 people raised their hand. I said, this is what has to happen, whether it happens through ASAL or anybody.
Right.
As long as this happens, the 4 countries are sitting in one side, one place, and four religion is sitting in the same place. Only then we can win, and we will win.
Well, that's certainly our challenge, ASAL's challenge.
Yes.
I think we're making a lot of progress in it, and I think that it'll be very exciting when we are able to really solidify that coalition.
Exactly.
Maf, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Yes.
We ran out of time.
Is
but
it? Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we ran out of time, I know. If people want to learn more about ASAL, how can they do that?
Okay, so the main part is that asal.org.
Right.
You should go there.
ASAAL.org.
Org. And also they can call 917-209-9772.
If you need a city job, call that number. Call Maf.
Yes. That is how it is.
Everybody, thank you for joining us tonight on Inside Politics here on Time Television. I want to thank our guest, Maf Misbah Uddin, the treasurer of DC 37. We'll see you again next week